The time is finally here for the second annual Mind Charity Endurance Race. This time we are doing 500 miles around the Daytona Road circuit with 15 manufacturers participating. Teams have been balanced through rigorous testing, and whilst everyone is balanced on paper, it all comes down to tonight to see who can come and produce the goods on the day and stick it on pole, giving themselves the best opportunity for the night of racing come Saturday. On Saturday, we'll be having two separate lobbies. First up, we've got the slower drivers, followed by the second race, which will have the quicker drivers from each team participating in. And the times will be added together to crown a final team champion of the Aero League Racing Endurance Race for Mind Charity. We'll quickly run through the grid. We've got Skinsey participating in qualifying for Ferrari. We've got Viking for Dodge, followed by Gilles for Honda. Behind him, we've got Moose King, actually the bottom seeded driver for Subaru, and Auto similarly for Lamborghini. Capel and BX Royal in Lexus and Hyundai, retrospectively, and Rostorm for Jaguar with Caplero for Alfa Romeo. Tap Shooter will be in the Aston Martin with Major Ecstasy, in the Mazda with Iggy in the Genesis. Pyro will be representing Team Nissan with the Dude and Bomber rounding off the grid here with Porsche for Right, and McLaren for the Dude. In terms of the teams who haven't been able to field their strongest lineup, we've got Subaru with Moose King, Lamborghini with Otto Rattalen, and Pyro for the Nissan team. So it'll be a struggle for those guys, and if they can achieve anything sort of away from the back of the grid, they will be over the moon. But it looks like the drivers are coming on to start their first lap, so we have a little tour of the circuit on board with Skinsey for Team Ferrari, one of the better cars in this competition. He's with Fracas today, taking it down to second gear for the first corner, trying to keep it nice and narrow, making sure to use all of this yellow material, yellow curb on the inside of turn 2 and 3, braking into turn 4 just after a little dark patch on the tarmac, which most drivers will be using all of the exit on the outside here. You get no corner cut penalties for running wide on the outside there, so you can using all the curb on the right hand side if he wishes. Now it's flat out all the way down here. This corner here, this left-hander is full flat in every car on the grid here, braking before the grass on the left-hand side. Most drivers here will be trying to get as wide entry as possible to carry as much speed through this hairpin as we come towards the bank area of the circuit. You're going to brake alongside the cones on the right, take as much of this curb on the inside, and do not run wide here. And it actually, Skinsey has run wide there, which will be an invalidation. Actually, it probably won't be because he's let off so much, but it will mean Viking is at the front of the queue for the first lap. He won't get slipstream down here, but he will have had some throughout the rest of the lap, and it looks like he has gained on Skinsey up until this point, so potentially it will be a good lap from Viking. We'll go on board with him as we close out the rest of the lap. 1 minute 12 so far he's at. Down here you want to brake as close to the number 1 board as possible. Won't quite make the number 1 board. Down into 3rd gear most people will use through here, but 4th gear for Viking Dog, one of our top tier 1 drivers here. Actually a previous champion in ALR, showing why if he can carry that much speed through that corner. Again, you want to hug this left hand side as much as possible, staying all the way down the low section from here to the end of the lap. And we'll actually bring up our custom leaderboard in just a few seconds, which we're going to be using to record all results of this qualifying session in case we have any dropouts throughout the session. What time is it to start things off with Viking Dog? It's a 1:53.4. That is a very quick time. It looks like we have the wind in favour as well, so times will be a little bit quicker. GGL obviously made a mistake on that lap, same with Skinsey. BX Royal going within a second of him, and actually quite a lot of people here coming across the line altogether in slipstream. Major going P2 now with Iggy in P4. Quite a few drivers around that 1.5 to 2 seconds off the mark, just setting banker laps to go to start with, and we've got 13 of the 15 drivers across the board setting their laps now. A dreadful lap from Otto Rattalen. I'm sure he'll improve at some point. And I think we've got Right coming to the pits rather than going across his lap. I wonder why he's done that. BX Royal here in P3 actually improving in his first sector. Iggy almost 6/10 up there. I tell you what, if he can keep this lap going, he might be in for a shot at the pole position. In terms of the full leaderboard after one run, though, we've got Viking in first, 3/10 ahead of Major. BX and Iggy half a second back. The Dude another half a second back from them, with Caplera in P6, Rostom here, who we're on board with in P7. Capel just behind Rostom in P8, with Moose King, one of the lower seed drivers, in P9. We've got Tap in P10 following Pyro right on his backside there, with GGL and Skinsy miles off the pace. Those two have had to take penalties in their first lap. And then Auto Ratalon and Yeah Right haven't set a respective time yet. Looks like there's some issues here for the Mazda team, with Major XTC, who is probably one of the favourites for pole, and it looks like he's going to have to pull out with a retirement there, so not going to be able to improve on his 53.7 lap time. Jill with another penalty here, slowing down, but he is giving Skinsy the slipstream. Will this mean Skinsy can improve? We've got Viking crossing the line now, who doesn't improve on his lap time. Skinsy, where's he going to go? Was P13. It looks like we've had two people disconnect already, actually. Two people with errors. Getting confirmation now it is Rosthorn, who's the other driver that's missing. So he was in P5. We've got Skinsy going up to P7 though. Caplera coming across the line now. Actually, no, he's already come across the line, sorry. Dude up to P6. Doesn't improve, unfortunately for him. And we've got Iggy in all that madness has gone up to P4 as well. Obviously, he must have lost a lot of time in the rest of his lap, because he's barely improved that lap despite being so far up. Auto Retalon has set a respectable time now, just 1.4 seconds off the lead. He'll be pretty happy with that, considering he isn't expected to be on the pace with these guys, so it's really promising for his race. We've got one final car coming across the line. It's a bit of chaos when everyone comes across the line at the same time, and then it quietens down a bit. Whoever it was hasn't improved on their time there, though. But yeah, Auto Ratalon and Moose King putting up a respectable time there, for considering their lobby. Pyro probably got a bit of time to improve that he'll be able to do, and then obviously Tap Shooter, GGO, and Yeah Right yet to set a fast lap. This one isn't going to be improving for Moose King, and it's 8 seconds behind his best. Pyro 3 seconds down as well without the slipstream, probably not going to be able to improve here. Let's have a look at Tap Shooter. He's very close to Bomber, only in the midfield as well, and he's actually on an outlap, so we'll skip by him. Gilles also on an outlap. Both of them two trying to get into the pits. Obviously, must have had a poor previous lap, and yeah, I just thought now's the time to change the tyres. It is a 15-minute qualifying session, so we're about halfway through. Yeah, right, going very deep there. Is that going to be an invalidation? Don't know, but he's lost a lot of time, so it's not going to be setting the world alight with that time, regardless of what happens. Let's go on board with BX Royal. Oh, no, we're not. We'll go on board with Iggy instead. It looks like someone's improved there. Skinsy up to P4, overtaking Iggy. Only 2 tenths behind BX Royal now as well. Caplera also improving 1 second off the lead, overtakes Rosthorn. You can see the numbers a bit out because of Major's retirement, but he will still be included in the pole position countdown. But yeah, Caplera really been struggling with this Alpha, I've heard in testing. Hasn't been able to get to grips with it just yet, but if he can keep on improving in this car, I'm sure he'll be one to look out for the title, for the win, sorry, come the weekend. On board with Yeah right now. I think he's starting yet another lap now. Let's see what he'll be able to do. Most of the cars sort of top out between 155 and 160. Actually really revving out this Porsche. I'm going really fast to the right hand side, which is not something I've seen from any of the drivers really. I think it's actually the slower line, so he's still learning. 5.7 seconds off though, so it looks like that was just a warm-up lap from him. Really nice braking point there though. Can he get it stopped in time? A little bit wide, might have lost a little bit of time there in the Porsche. Really revving out this Porsche. I'm not sure if that's the best thing to do, but obviously he's the one who will know better through his experience from driving this car. On the throttle now, coming out of turn 4. It looks like a pretty average sector 1, if we're being honest. A little bit down on his previous one as well, so I'm sure he must have made a mistake somewhere else in the lap. We'll go on board with someone else though, see if we can find someone else on a fast lap. And I think Gilles is on a fast lap. He's got BX Royal just behind him as well. 4 tenths up on his previous lap, and we saw on his previous fastest he did take a penalty towards the end of the lap, so I'm sure this one will be a quick one. BX is catching him though, so it's not going to be top 2, I wouldn't expect. Let's see. Can't really tell how well he took the chicane there, unfortunately, but you'll see 4 tenths up on his previous best, so it must have been alright. This is more what I was expecting compared to Yarai, where he went right out wide towards the wall. Gilles staying nice and tight here, getting the shortest run down to the finish line. VX is going to get an incredible run here, stuck right in his slipstream. What's going to happen here for Gilles? P14 before crossing the line, he sets a 53.9, which takes him all the way up into the top 4 there. Bunch more guys here coming across the line. You can see we've got Ross Thorm, I think that was up ahead, Tap Shooter, yeah right, Capale. It looks like we're going to stay on board with Tap here, see what time he can set in. He improves by almost a second there. Really good lap from him, it seems like. Or actually, no, previously he had a very poor lap, but yeah right actually just overtook him yet again. So yeah right with an acceptable time there, up 1.4 seconds off Viking Dog into the 54s, which is where we'll be expecting everyone to be into the pretty much in this lobby anyway. On board with Skinsy now, who is up on his time, only 5 tenths off the lead. Might be able to challenge Viking if he can get this right. Takes the first one nicely of the 4 apexes. A little bit wide there, that's going to be borderline towards an invalidation. I think he'll just get away with it though, 3 tenths up now. That would put him into second place if he can keep this up. Very consistent laps from him there. You can see lap 4 and 5 within 8 thousandths of a second. If he can show that consistency on Saturday, then he'll definitely be one to look out for in terms of the race victory. Teammates Fracas, they've both been showing very good pace in qualifying, and he puts it in P2 there, Skinsy, 2 tenths off the lead, just behind Viking. Now we've got BX, who we're on board with in the slipstream of Chill, literally sniffing his exhaust fumes all the way down his straight. This is probably going to massively help him out, actually. You can see BX's top speed here is absolutely phenomenal from this bump draft in. And he's gone and put it on pole. 53.1 dead there from BX Roll. GGL also improves and it goes above Major, who drops down to 5th. BX gone and beat Viking's time through that absolutely incredible slipstream. I'm pretty sure he would have been nowhere near it without that slipstream. But we'll probably get a comparison video up for you guys tomorrow, hopefully, between whoever comes first and second in this qualifying. Pretty poor lap from Iggy there, and that one's not going to be great from Caplero. That's definitely not the way you want to be starting a lap. Got a couple other guys improving here further down the field. I saw some spaces rejigging a little bit there. I think Capale has improved on his time. Another improvement there. Auto Rattlon all the way up to P7. That's fantastic lap for him. A 54.3. Definitely going to be one to watch out for in the first lobby on Saturday come 6 o'clock. Then we're going to be getting the first lobby started around 5:45. Hoping to start the second lobby around 8 PM. Very, very different driving style here from Auto Rattlon. Absolutely throws that Lamborghini into the corner into turn 4 there. And it's actually improved on his previous time. Is he going to be able to go one better and beat Iggy in the Lamborghini, which is a pretty difficult car to drive. Not the best turn there. Going very wide on the entry, but it doesn't look like it's affected him too much. But yeah, the Lamborghini is a very tough car to drive. It's got fantastic pace if you can extract it out of the car. Probably one of the quickest on the game. But it's very slidey under braking, and it does have 4-wheel drive, which should be pretty useful in certain circumstances. He's still up on his time. He doesn't need to improve by much to overtake Iggy. Just 0.05 of a second will do it. Let's see what he'll do. 1/10 up now. It looks like he might get it done. Auto Rattlon is in Tier 4 this season. Iggy is the defending Tier 1 champion. Just for comparison, very nicely done there from Auto Rattlon. Right on the edge, sliding his way through the chicane, absolutely on the limit. And he's improved yet again. I'll tell you what, he's just growing in confidence throughout this lobby. You can see his second fast lap was better than his first. And it looks like his third fast lap is going to be better yet again. Auto Rattlon really getting some momentum here to his qualifying session. It looks like he's going to get a chance at one more lap as we approach 20 seconds before the end of qualifying. He's going to get one more shot after this one. What's it going to be? It's a 54.2 up into P6. That's absolutely incredible from him. But is Viking right on the back of Gilles? Is he going to be able to do similar to VX as we take a little look at the battle for pole. Capel actually improved on his time there as well, getting closer to the dude, but not quite overtaking him. On board with Viking though, he's purple. If he can do the same as BX here, he might have a shot at the pole position. Let's go on board. He just needs to bump draft his way through here, and we'll see. He's going for the move. Two completely different strategies here. Viking Dog, 1.6 tenths purple ahead of BX Royal, but he's going to lose the slipstream here after the chicane. He's going to need to hope that GGL will be bump drafting him to the finish line, but we'll see. He takes that pretty well there, so he hasn't really lost any time there, apart from maybe a little bit on entry. Still 1/10 purple. All he has to do, he's not going to get any bump draft, but is he going to lose more than 1.5 tenths to BX Royal? This is going to be so tight. You can just see the top speed is such a big difference compared to BX was doing about 158 down here with the bump drafting and slipstream. Viking only managing a top speed of 155, and he misses out by 3 tenths. He lost 4 tenths in that final 20-second sector there. That's absolutely crazy, the difference. Tap shooter coming across line. Can he improve his time? Currently P11, 1.4 down. The midfield is so packed here. Down from P6 to P13, we've got 4 tenths separating all these guys. It looks like that is going to be it for qualifying. Actually, we've got one more car, 3 more cars, sorry, if we look at the map. Auto Rattlon now doesn't manage to improve, very close to his previous best. The dude now, another car less than a tenth away from his best. And last but not least, we've got Pyro, who's well down. And that is going to be it. So there we have your full leaderboard on the left-hand side. BX Royal for Team Hyundai puts his teammate on pole for the race on Saturday. Viking Dog's teammate M. Polty will be starting in second, with Fracas starting in third. You can see the full leaderboard here with 3 seconds separating the full grid, but obviously we remember 3 of these guys will be racing in the slower lobby. So 1.5 seconds separate the top lobby here, and it looks like Pyro has some work to do ahead of the race on Saturday. But yeah, thanks to everyone for watching. We will have a qualifying comparison between Viking and BX Royals laps coming out tomorrow, so you can see where you need to improve. The donation link is on your screen right now, and thank you so much for supporting this incredible cause.